Hi there. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be. Tell me if you're here. I've been just working like a little bunny trying to get things ready for today and had a bunch of surprises I'll tell you about here in a moment. You should have your workbook in your email. And if you're seeing this live and you've not yet registered for the 5-day challenge, please do that. You can do that at the link that is in the description, at the very top of the description, so that you're able to register and get your get your workbook. And also you can tell your friends all about this. I'd love to have as many folks who are interested join us as possible. So here we are. I'm just seeing who's alive. Say hello, say that you're here. If you'd be so kind, so I know you're here, etc. That would be great. And as you're all showing up, yay, there's Jessica. There's Jessica. As you're all showing up, I'm just gonna give you the download on why I'm sitting here in my little baseball cap, etc. So here's what happened. So y'all know I live in Mexico, and y'all know that I've been getting up and going. You might not know it, but I get up early. I've got a little fitness schedule for myself, and I'll share some of my fitness and nutrition bits and pieces. Good morning, Michelle. Hola. Good morning, Carolyn. Beautiful. So you know some of these things about me, but what you don't know is that sometimes in Mexico, because you just have one little tank of gas, when you run out of gas, you run out of gas. And it's been a little bit chilly here. And so this morning, my partner and I went for a run. It's more of a wog. It's like a run, walk, wog thing, walk, jog thing. But we ran, and it was raining. And then we went to the park and we did a bunch of stuff that we do. I did a bunch of low back support and been working on a little bit of a knee thing. So I was doing some strengthening for my knees and some flexibility in hips and hamstrings and all that. And what ended up happening is we ran out of gas. So no shower this morning because it's just a little too chilly with the rain. So you're getting me like real and raw for day one of our 5-day challenge. But good news is you're not sitting right here next to me. Good news for you, that is. So you don't get my post-workout deliciousness. But here we are. So it's day one. It's day one of our 5-day challenge. And these will be about 30 minutes. Each of them will be about 30 minutes. And I'll be just offering the teaching for the day. So do you have your workbooks? Do you have your workbooks? That's number one. I want to make sure that you have your workbook. If you don't have your workbook, that means you probably didn't register or it ended up in your spam. So check that out. You can go to brittbsteele.com, and at the top there's a 5-day challenge. If you go in there, if you did not get your workbook, go ahead and jump in there and register. Just do it again if for some reason you did register. Maybe sometimes we turn a letter around in our email and it doesn't quite get out to us. And then when you get the automated response, now the workbook is in there. So it wasn't in there when you first registered, if you registered a couple of days ago, because I was working hard on getting my workbook done for you, which I just finished this morning. So you've got your workbook, you got it. I'm just seeing who's here. Happy to be here with you. So as you're settling in and as you're arriving and you've got your workbook, I'm going to go ahead and pull up our Facebook page this morning. And the reason I want to do that is because I invited so many of you to introduce yourselves and to speak about what you're doing for self-care. So I'm just going to do a little bit of a subtle review on what we went over in our bonus day on day 0, which was on Saturday. And then I'm going to go ahead and go right into day 1. So these build upon each other, and they'll be recorded and they'll be still on YouTube saved, as well as in the private Facebook page saved. So they're there for you. So you can sign up. You can sign into either of those at any time and watch the videos again, or watch them for the first time if you haven't seen them. So I just want to see who's here with us. I see some member requests on Facebook, so I'm going to approve those as well. This is the beauty of live stream. Here we go. So I'm going to head on in here. We have a lot. We have 60 people, 65 people who are interested in being part of this journey. So I'm just inviting us to keep coming on back to the grace of this journey and tell our friends, tell our friends, tell our friends. Let me see if I can. It's telling me that I can't get in there, and I just know I can. Technology is so interesting. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, so we're in. There we are. I'm live with you. Beautiful day. Good day, everyone. So Lisa Erickson. We live in 3 places: a small town in Idaho, a smaller town in Nevada, and an even smaller place, a catamaran in the Caribbean Sea. Ketchum, Idaho. Good afternoon from Chester, Connecticut. I learned of Britt Steele from reading an Elephant Journal article she wrote. 65, married to a man for 20 years. How wonderful. So here we all are. Keep saying hello. Kathy, 20 ways I feel alive, aligned and in love. Amazing smells, flowers, food, trees, the wind, gentle breeze or gale force, sunset, sunrise, walking, hiking, backpacking, creating art, painting, remodeling, riding a bike, swimming. Look at this. Good job on your homework. Awesome job on your homework. Dance party, cozy bed with clean sheets and heavy blankets. Kathy, I think you and I are cut from the same cloth. A good book, a bubble bath, laughter, especially grandkids, dance party, music, fishing, meditation, hugs, especially my husband's. Look at you guys go. Self-care, Michelle, walking in nature from Mobile, Alabama. Flowers, touching trees. Isn't that amazing just to touch a tree? Gentle yoga practices, massage, travel, spending time with friends, watching the moon. Oh, you beautiful beings. Look at that. Henderson, North Carolina. You guys just keep coming. Coloring, needle felting, listening to a rainstorm. Look, you guys. This is so great. Chrissa Pilgrim is in Athens, Greece. Feel my body, feeding my body with good food, feeding my skin with my favorite oil, walking alone. Precious best friends without interruptions. Oh, you guys. Look, I'm so glad you're doing this. Keep coming. So I'm not going to read them all out loud right now, but I'm going to go back and read every single one. So I just want to make sure that you show up there, you read one another's, you become inspired. And this is a perfect place to do a little bit of swiping. You can just take those ideas from anyone that inspires you, who's doing self-care that is inspirational to you. So we're going to jump right into the content. Does that work for you? Okay, so today I want to just do a really brief review, super brief review of day 0. And I came to you on Saturday, and it's right in the Facebook group and Facebook page. And I'll also be sending out the link from that as well. So you've got that if you registered for the 5-day self-care challenge after that went live on Saturday. So what I want to say is that we do self-care not because we are desiring to separate ourselves from the world and take time out, but because we truly want to integrate and we want to be part of this world, and we want to be as impactful as we possibly can be and as potent as we possibly can be in our lives. That's the key. That's why we do this. That's why we practice self-care. And it's not frivolous, it is essential. That is what I have come to learn. That the greatest impact that you are going to make on this planet, which it's not about making the impact on the planet, it's about being deeply grounded and aligned with the earth itself, as well as being aligned with the reasons that you've come here, so that your thoughts, your words, your actions, your deeds, your feelings, everything's moving in the same direction. You see it in your relationships, you see it in the work that you're doing, no matter where you're working, right? We find all these deep connections and we stay tethered to these connections. And then when we are in that place of abundance, we share from a place of overflow instead of up from a place of need. And when I say a place of need, what I'm talking about is I'm not doing something for you because, well, I need you to love me, or I need you to think I'm a good woman, or I need you to think that I'm a good mom, or a good partner, or a good wife. It's none of that. It's none of that. It's all about being so full that what we share is shared from a place of abundance. That's what we're going for. And so, what our self-care practices do for us, essentially from a scientific perspective, is they take us from the stress response into the relaxation response. And the relaxation response is the frontal lobe of the brain. The limbic stem of the brain is where all of our stress response happens. So we want to operate from that relaxation place of the brain. Now, why do we want that? Right? It's not about like being all chill and relaxed all the time as much as it's being actively calm and calmly active. We want to be responsive, not reactive. We want to be able to really recognize what's happening in the world and to see what it is that we have control over and turn our attention to that and turn our attention away from that which we do not have control over and what is an energy leak for us instead of something that is going to fill us and amplify the goodness that we are able to share in the world. So that's what I want to come back to in the self-care challenge. I don't want to make it super complicated. I just simply want, and it could get complicated and big, I just want us to know and to remember that when we do tiny little things, they can make a world of difference to us. And so what we're doing for these next 5 days, today being day 1, is we're turning our attention toward the sun, just the same way that a sunflower turns its attention to the sun. We're turning our attention to cultivating a deeper understanding and laying down neural pathways so that we default to the relaxation response. Because when we are relaxed, our hearts can be open. When our hearts can be open, we can breathe more deeply. When we breathe more deeply, we can be more vital. When we are more vital, we have more to give to ourselves, others, and the world. We also see more clearly, we think more clearly, and we act from a more grounded foundational place. We also know that we are held and that we are supported by this universe, because through this lens, and most definitely through the way in which that I move through the world and what I offer to the world, I operate like my lily pad where I return to again and again and again, is that we live in a universe that is conspiring on our behalves. I live in a universe that is conspiring on my behalf to give me exactly what I need to rise into the next best and highest evolution of myself. That's my lily pad. That's what I go back to again and again. I know that to be true because energy follows attention. When I place my attention as such, no matter what happens, I feel it. I feel supported. And I see what's happening in the world. And I recognize that there's work to be done. And I know what my part is. And in that way, when you know what your part is, you can parent better. You can partner better. You can lead better. You can follow better. Right? And that's what we need. We need these physical bodies to be strong. We need these physical bodies to be resilient, because this body holds it all. This body is your skin bag. It's the vehicle that carries you through this whole life. Okay? All right. So that's just a little bit of the background. So I want to just remind us what our little homeworks were. Your first homework was simple. You just make a commitment. Commitment. Yep, you just show up for 5 days. Doesn't matter if you show up live, although it's lovely because I get to see your little, it's your lily pads, Karen. It's your lily pads, right? You get to show up with us and ask questions and comment and engage, and I see your beautiful presence and I feel your beautiful presence. And if you can't make it live, it's all right. Just come on back whenever you can come and turn your attention to the teachings. So the commitment, number one, just make that commitment. What's that commitment? I'm just going to show up. Nothing more than that. I'm just going to be here. I'm going to do what I can to be here when I can be here. That's all. All right. So day zero was essentially how we drew those connections between self-care and caring for ourselves, others, and the world. And it's not about separating. It's not, what I encourage you to do is to recognize that everything is integrated. We're looking at how we bring these self-care practices into our lives, not leave our lives to go practice self-care. It's a very different thing. All right? And so today, the focus of our practice is going to take us into the first and what I perceive to be a foundational and fundamental practice of self-care. But before we go there, I just want to make sure that we tether in again to what our self-care practices were for day zero. So day zero, we put it into perspective, the stress response and the relaxation response, as I've described. We make our commitment totally present. I'm showing up. That's all I'm going to do. 5 days, I'm going to show up. Then we make our top 20 ways list in which you feel alive, aligned, and in love. Alive, aligned, and in love. What makes your eyes get big? What makes your mouth water? What makes your skin tingle? What makes you go, I have a sweet friend who might be in this. She's in our Grassroots for Radical Self-Care Roadmap, which is coming in February, you'll hear more about later. But she always, when she gets excited, she goes, and I love, Suzanne, I love that about her. And so that's one of the things. What makes you feel alive, aligned, and in love? And you see how even when I think of her doing that, it makes me feel alive and aligned and in love. Because when we are alive, aligned, and in love, others feel it. It's not about words. I'm happy. Are you happy? I'm happy. It's not about words. It is literally a somatic, primordial, like pre-language experience that we have, and that gets on people when they're even in our presence, even in the ethers. Huh? So we get a little bit of this, a little bit of that happy excitement, like my puppies in the morning when they know we're going for a walk and they see me start to put or for a hike or whatever, run here, starting to put my tennis shoes on, and oh, the excitement is overwhelming in their little tiny bodies. Okay, so then the last one of your self-care steps from day zero was ask yourself the magic question: which nervous system do I want in charge of my life? Relaxation response or stress response? So I'll just tell you, for me, I want to be hanging out as much as possible in relaxation response. Why? Because my digestion works better, blood flow is better to my skin, synovial fluid is produced at the site of the joints more readily, immune system functions better, reproductive system functions better, even if I'm not planning on having a baby, which I'm not, 50-year-old body's not doing that. However, I still want my systems to work well. Cardiovascular system functions better, and I also am able to see and to sense and be part of a much greater world, a world of potential, right? I'm able to see beyond that limited single-pointed perception of feeling as though the world's going to hell in a handbasket, as my mother would say. Okay, so that was day zero. So day one, simple, bookend your day with light. This is day one, bookend your day with light. So what I'm inviting us to do today is to turn our attention to the knowing that you are not separate from this planet and from the rhythms of nature. We're going to get into rhythm right out of the gate. We're going to bookend our day with light. Now, I'm going to give you some self-care steps. You do not have to take them all. Choose one and it's enough. Choose one and it's enough. You have in your body circadian rhythms. When your body is awake and alert, ideally you're going to function more efficiently. Your immune system is going to be stronger. Your body is going to be more balanced. Your muscles are going to be more relaxed. Your digestion is going to function better. All of these things. Overall, your health, mentally, emotionally, and physically, is going to improve when you are aligned with nature. So what does that mean? We bookend our day with light. We recognize when the sun is going up and going down. You can look it up if you want to, or you just look outside. And then when the sun starts to go down, and I know it's early in a lot of places on the planet, when the sun starts to go down, that's when you also start to go down. Slowly diminishing your connection to the internet, to the media, to technology, to the world outside, and see if you might be able to get yourself in bed before 10 o'clock. That's a big ask, but perhaps it's possible, right? Before 10 o'clock, somewhere around there. So that's just an option for you, okay? Rising in the morning. Can you rise with the sun? Can you rise with the sun, not after the sun? How fun is it to go for a walk with a bunch of people, to go for a walk with a bunch of people, and you're 25 minutes late? It's not so fun, right? If you want to go for a walk with people, and this journey, this life is communal. And you are part of the community of this natural world. So I want you to ride the rhythms of nature. If there's one thing that I have found to be profoundly important, it's rising with the sun and setting with the sun. And it's not popular, but it works. And it helps align your whole physiology to function better in all ways. And because we live in these skin bags, our minds and our hearts follow suit. All right? So we want to turn our attention to how it is that we can just move ourselves a little bit closer to the rhythm of the sun rising and the sun setting. All right, so think about what is one thing you could do to bring yourself closer to the rhythm of sunrise and sunset, so that when the sun comes up, you are up, and when the sun goes down, you are down. Now, it's not like this. It's not a spike. It's a slow and steady rise. Right? Slow and steady rise. So even though we leave the house here at 6:40 or so to go for our walk, our run, not super early, we wait until the sun is fully up. I get up at 5:30 so that I can have that nice early rise. I also protect my evenings. By 9 o'clock-ish, the only thing that might be still going on is a little bit of Netflix. But I'm a few hours after eating, a couple hours after eating for sure, already by then. And I'm not hanging on the internet if at all possible, right? Just Netflix if I'm watching a movie. And I'm also conscious of what I'm bringing into my body in terms of what I watch and how my nervous system is affected by the movies that I watch and the television shows that I choose. So that's part of it as well. It's simple little steps. So then your self-care step from your workbook, if you've got your workbook, is find your perch. Now I'll tell you a secret. I call it an altar, but I don't want to freak you out. I have an altar because that's where I alter my consciousness. Some of you know this about me, but I don't want to freak anybody out. If you don't have an altar, you can be like my mom and you can have a perch. You don't have to be like my mom. You can just have a perch and not be like my mom and have a perch. Meaning, where are you going to go in the morning where you're going to say hello to the day. You're going to ask whomever he may be, she, who, the universe, divinity, whatever form that comes for you, for guidance and to bless you. And you're going to say thank you. As Brene Brown says, you're going to dance with the one who brung you. That's what you're going to do, right? That perch is bookending your day with light. Sometimes you journal a little bit, you write down some notes. Sometimes you make a little list of things that you're grateful for, but you find your perch. So these are some of your self-care steps. How do you align yourself with the rhythms of the day? Do you have a perch? Find your perch. If you already have a perch, if you've already done work with me, you probably got a perch. I'm thinking you probably got a perch. Create your opening ritual and create your closing ritual. So what does that mean? Create your opening ritual and create your closing ritual. That circles back to aligning yourself with the morning and aligning yourself with the evening. What can you do in the morning and what can you do at night? Little things. I always have tea at night. I always have tea in the morning. Tea is my ritual. Morning tea and evening tea. Morning tea usually has caffeine. It's a green tea. Evening tea never has caffeine. It's a ritual. I rise in the morning. I make my tea. I take my tea with me sometimes, unless I just leave it in steep, and I go sit in my meditation. I have my little ritual of meditation and the prayers that I do and the thank yous that I say and the opening up, because I just really want to make sure that I do better today. What do I mean better? Better in a moralistic term? No, just better in terms of alignment. That I show up and I'm respectful of myself, others in the world. That I'm respectful of this natural world, that I know and recognize that humanity is messy. And if I recognize that, I can respect that. I can also respect that people are going to let people down. And I don't get all worked up about that. I just go, oh yeah, that's part of humanity. So now what am I going to do? How am I going to keep doing the best I can to be grounded and fluid in all of this? Right? So I set those little rituals for the morning, and then my evening rituals, I bring everything down. I do my very best to have at least 2 hours without answering any emails. When I go on Netflix, I turn off my emails. I don't want to be dealing with work stuff while Netflix is on with my honey, or while I'm sitting and reading a book with my honey, or that I'm just having quiet time with my honey. I don't want to do that. I want to be really present, and I want to step away from the technology. Step away from the technology. That's huge. Bookending my day with light. How do you bookend your day with light? Goodness, alignment, integration, integrity. Not moral again, but integrity. Aligning your thoughts, your words, your actions, your deeds. What is it you really want to do in this life? And how do you create a container for that to come into fruition? So that's creating your closing ritual, your morning ritual and your closing ritual, opening and closing rituals for the day. Then you move the energy. We got to move the energy. This is a self-care step for morning and nighttime as well. How do I move the energy? In the morning and the evening, I have just a little bit of a stretching bit that I do. I stretch like a cat a lot. I'm less interested in being physically fit as I am in being vital. There was a time I wanted to be fit. Now I want to be aligned and integrated and connected to all that is. I want to know that when life gets hard and when this world turns upside down, that I'm okay because I'm held, and that I'm connected to the earth, the waters, the fires, the air, space, that I'm connected to each of your hearts. All hearts are my heart. And when I know that and when I feel that, I'm much more able to get through the challenging times. Because that's what this is all about for me, right? Is I want to live as vitally as possible. Don't you want that? If there's an impact that you're here to make in a tiny way or a big way, don't you want to make that? And I'm not talking about like having 1,000 million gazillion followers and doing all that. I'm just talking about like you meet that one woman in the grocery store line and the words that you say to her because you're so clear and present, because your heart was so open and you were relaxed and you weren't distracted. You could feel her pain. And you just looked in her eyes and you said, "It's hard, isn't it? You got this." See that? Like, that has zero to do with how many Facebook followers you have. That has everything to do with whether or not you're making an impact in this life. It's that little story about the guy that's picking up all those starfishes on the beach, and someone else comes along and you're throwing those live starfishes back into the ocean, and someone comes along and goes, "You're not going to make a difference." And the guy says about that one little starfish that he just is getting ready to toss back into the ocean, he said, "I'm going to make a difference to this one." That's what I'm talking about. Like for our hearts to be connected. I want to crawl in bed at night. This comes from Carlos Rosa. Some of you know him. Old teacher of mine. He's not, well, he's getting older now. Former teacher of mine many, many years ago. Right? Where he said, crawl in bed at night and ask yourself, was this day worthy of a standing ovation? Of one? Because I'm the only audience that really matters. I'm the only one who really knows. Was it worthy of a standing ovation? I'll tell you the truth. Yesterday for me was not. I got reactive about a kitchen scissors that was used for construction. And then it dawned on me, and after I apologized and said, I didn't handle that very well. Like I got really frustrated because I use kitchen scissors for the kitchen, and you use kitchen scissors for other things. But I realized there's nothing about that kitchen scissors, nothing about that kitchen scissors that is anything to do with my happiness, my wholeness, nor yours. So big bow, big apology, big acknowledgement. And so I asked myself today, can you do better? This is self-care. This is self-care, connecting the dots. We're connecting the dots, however it is we are able. So then we move the energy. When the energy arises, we move it. In the morning, I noticed where things got sticky and stuck. It's one of the reasons I'm walk-wogging, running in the morning, is because I have these glorious hormonal headaches that have kicked in for me as I'm going through something on the way, like a train out of control into menopause. As that's happening for me, I sometimes get headaches at like 3 in the morning and they stay. And the only way they go away is if I move the energy. Poppin and ibuprofen, not only is it contraindicated for supporting your defenses against COVID, right? But in addition to that, it essentially isn't moving any energy. Move the energy, walk it, turn a piece of music on, stretch your body again and again and again. This bookends your day with light as well. In those early mornings, notice what's going on in your body. Touch it, hammer it, massage it, slap it, palpate it. I do this a lot. I have so many pictures of me with my family where I'm like, before a photo, just trying to stretch and open the musculature in my face. My face tells me everything about my life. I know if I'm well by the way this looks, by whether or not my eyes are in balance, my nose is in balance, my nostrils are equally opening. That's what I know to be true. Okay, so we move the body and then we move the energy and then we steady the energy. What do I mean by steady the energy? I mean ground it down. How do I do that? I move away from technology. I don't eat too close to dinner or to bedtime. I don't overeat in the evening. I steady the energy by eating in alignment with nature. I eat my biggest meal at the middle of the day. I eat really lightly in the morning or at all. This is my breakfast brunch still right here. I have tea with homemade cashew milk, so I get a little bit of fat and protein early in the morning with my green tea. I had green tea this morning. Then I have my smoothie, which I haven't gotten very far on today. And then I'll eat my largest meal today around 4 o'clock, between 4 and 5, right? And then that's it. I just have a little of a piece of fruit or something and some tea before I go to bed. That's what I've just learned to be true. That's what works for this body and in this life. Not particularly popular, but learning how to find that balance. So you got a family, so you're feeding a family. Well, you can do that as well. You can make some subtle adjustments, making your midday meal bigger, and then just having options built into the evening so you eat less at that point. There's ways we can do this. This reminds me again, as what I said on Saturday in our day zero, the words of Vivekananda, that to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick world is no measure of health. So we're just looking for, how do I support myself so that I'm not swimming upstream, so that I keep turning my attention to self-care. I look for the spaciousness and enter into that spaciousness. So just a review for today. Find your perch. Create your opening ritual. Create your closing ritual. Move the energy and steady the energy. So I say, put these on sticky notes, stick them around your house, put it on your bathroom mirror. You can sit on the toilet in the morning and stretch your body. You can stand in the kitchen while your coffee or your tea is being made and stretch and move your body. You can put music on, you can roll across a ball, you can massage your face in the opposite direction of gravity. This is not popular stuff. But would you rather be popular or would you rather be vital? You choose it, huh? You choose it. It's yours to choose. Okay, so that's it, beloveds. Find your perch, create your opening ritual, create your closing ritual, move the energy and steady the energy. Tell me if you have questions. What do we got here? H. Oh, look at, oh, good. Joyfulbelly.com has hundreds of clean dosha-specific recipes for those looking to try new things. So dosha is about, and you might just want to Google like how to find out my dosha, how to find my dosha, D-O-S-H-A. That's your constitution. So this twiggy, long, lanky body, long face, thin lips, not a lot of hair, really tiny breasts, flat butt, lots of skin, not a lot of fat, like all these things I could go on and on and on about. In terms of my constitution, my hands are like this all the time. Like this is my constitution. My dosha is not earth like an ox. My dosha is like a hummingbird or like a chicken or a squirrel, right? Chipmunk. Lots of energy, lots of high moving, lots of rapid firing energy. That's how I move. That's my constitution. So what Heather's talking about with joyfulbelly.com is there's lots of recipes that help balance your energy. That would help both move your energy and steady your energy through the food that you're eating. Starla, if you see this, that would be a great website for you as well. I'll just speak briefly about what's in here for fun. So this has mixed berries, organic mixed berries from Costco, a spoonful of almond butter, a spoonful of collagen, a spoonful of chocolate protein, vegan chocolate protein. The brand is Orgain. I'm coming from Mexico, so we have different things here. Unfortunately, I don't have quite the robust options as you might have, but it's a vegan, plant-based, non-soy organic protein, and half a banana and half a mango, half an avocado. So lots of fat, lots of nutrition, protein, collagen, all that good stuff. Antioxidants, that's what's in mine. All right, what else we got here? They'll offer you quizzes Oh, they will offer you a Joyful Belly, offer you quizzes to help align the recipe to the person. Oh, that's great. I'm going to write that one down for myself. Thanks for that. Joyful Belly. Thanks, Heather. All right, what else? Who else is here? Good first morning. I made it. Lily pads. Anything else? Yay. Ann Dillard got her workbook. Good. You got your workbook about 30 seconds after I finished it. Very good. That's how I work. Okay, so any questions before we wrap up for today? Any questions? So here's the deal. Keep it, if you're in the Facebook group, please keep introducing yourself. Post photos too. We want to see you also. So you can go in and you can edit your comment. So like if you already introduced yourself, you can go in and add a photo and a comment and say, oh, by the way, this is me. And that would be awesome. So we want to see your face. I know where you're from. We want to know what are the things that you're doing. And then today, at the end of every day, every time that you watch the video, just write day 1 and then make a list of what you're doing. Like maybe it's a list of one thing. Like I've decided that I'm going to set my alarm and I'm going to get up early and I'm going to go to bed before 11. And that's it. Like nothing more than that. Laura Gould, this sounds so stupid. How do you get out of bed if you don't wake up chipper? Oh, oops, I kicked the camera. It's such a process. I don't wake up chipper. A lot of times I'm just sluggish, but here's what I know. If I stay in bed longer and not get up and slowly move my body, I never have more energy by staying in bed that extra hour. Never. I always have less. Or 99% of the time. I can't even say never. I shouldn't say never and always. Most frequently. Because what happens essentially is I don't ever get back into really deep restful sleep. If I'm sick or if I'm really fighting something or I can really feel it, but I've gotten to know my body well, that's different. But otherwise, it's Laura Gould, it's from Pilgrim. Get up first, wake up later. No back talk. You just go, I'm getting up, and you do it. That's the best thing I can say is you just start. It's not even just do it. It's as Brian from Optimize, Brian Johnson says, he's like, just start. Like, just start getting out of bed. Turn around and sit up. That's a good start, right? Make that commitment just for these 5 days, perhaps. Okay, awesome, right? John is a longtime student of Dr. Ladd's. Yeah, Heather Lewis. Offer quizzes. So John, I think she's saying John Douliard is probably who you're talking about, but I'm not sure. I might have missed that. Okay, so I'm not seeing any more questions, but I want to make sure that what you do is that you keep showing up here, right? Oh, Laura, I've wanted to ask you that forever. Well, ask me now. Ask me now. Keep introducing yourself. Tell us what you're doing. Fully engage, y'all. Fully engage. Let's have fun with this. Tell your friends. Invite them. Invite them to the Facebook group. Just invite them to the Facebook group. They can start in that little Facebook group and watch the videos. And then if they want to download the workbook, they can download the workbook. It doesn't matter if they show up on day 5 because this is going to be here for. I think I'm going to leave this up. So these videos are going to continue to be available for people for probably about 3 weeks. Okay? I'm right here. I love you. Sweet, good day 1 of 5 days of radical self-care. I'm going to keep telling you what I'm doing every day, and I'm just loving you. Have a sweet one. Mwah. Ciao.